And I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend. And I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter.
Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson just dropped a truth bomb on Sheryl Swoopes. What did they say that's got everyone talking? It's not just about Caitlin Clark anymore. This clash is exposing a bigger issue in women's basketball. Let's break it down. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You may believe that you already know what Swoopes stated regarding Clark, but wait, even the gaming legends are scratching their heads at a plot twist in this tale. What may compel Nancy Lieberman to criticize a fellow WNBA legend? You might be surprised by the response. With a strong stance, Swoopes attacked Caitlin Clark's style of play. The worst part is that her facts were all messed up. Here, we're not discussing a little error. To put it mildly, Swoopes' assertions on Clark's statistics were not supported by the numbers. And now for another basketball legend, Nancy Lieberman. She was not going to overlook those errors.
That said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 20.
Resolved to correct the record, Lieberman took the stand. You can say whatever you want, but you do have to get the statistics right, she said without holding back. Facts are important. Hurt. That must hurt. It goes beyond simply entering incorrect numbers, though. Lieberman felt let down by Swoopes' refusal to acknowledge her error. A simple, "my bad" could have ended the whole issue, she pointed out. Rather, it erupted into something far more substantial. Shannon Sharpe into the battle and isn't holding back. He's doubting Swoopes and Lieberman's friendship as a whole. His opinion? If a small disagreement ends a friendship, was it really a friendship to begin with? That alone should spark some contemplation. There's more to this tale, though. Sharpe is not referring to the rivalry between two legendary basketball players. He's drawing attention to a larger issue that has been simmering beneath the surface of women's basketball for some time. Sharpe claims that the entire situation involving Swoopes and Clark is only a symptom of a larger issue. According to him, some of the game's legends feel threatened by the up-and-coming talent.
One thing about women, they will sever a relationship quick behind anything, behind any disagreement.
They appear to be witnessing the fading of their own legacies in favor of the rising stars. Consider it. Clark isn't simply excellent, she's revolutionizing the field. While she possesses the necessary talents, she also possesses something that the previous generation lacked: social media. In a matter of seconds, the internet is flooded with videos of her every move and record-breaking. The novelty of such visibility is unsettling some of the traditional participants.
Then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions.
But ought they to be? The question that matters greatly is that, does Clark's ascent truly make the greats of the past less visible? Is she genuinely drawing greater attention to women's basketball than she has in the past? Or is she just casting a spotlight on the entire sport? Remember the saying that records are meant to be broken? Not only is Clark shattering records on the court, though, she is upending the traditional notions of celebrity, and all of it is attributable to a technology that elevates her to a completely new level. What's causing Clark to reach millions of people while some WNBA legends are left scratching their heads? It's easy. Social networking. This technological innovator is changing the rules on how sportsmen become well-known figures in society. What about Caitlin Clark? She is the embodiment of this new wave of sports celebrity. Consider it. To see your favorite athletes back in the day, you had to watch SportsCenter or leaf through a magazine. Right now, every single day, Clark's three-pointers and crossovers light up TikTok for You sites and Instagram feeds. You feel as though you have courtside seats in your pocket. Chad Ochocinco Johnson and Shannon Sharpe are both quite aware of this. They are drawing attention to the fact that social media is providing players like Clark with an enormous boost that girls like Maya Moore and Candace Parker never had. Nowadays, it comes down to who can get those likes and shares rather than just competence. The worst part is that not everyone in the old guard is happy about the new playing field. They're seeing these up-and-coming talents gain more fans than they could have ever imagined. And it must hurt a little, let's face it. Still, Sharpe and Johnson don't seem to be buying it. This isn't about undermining the greats of the past, they claim. Realizing that the game has evolved both on and off the court is important.
The least thing can cause someone to distance themselves. The friendship was never legitimate or authentic anyway. There's no way.
To begin with.
Clark isn't eroding anyone's reputation. She is drawing attention to the entire sport. Consider the reach. The people who witness Clark breaking records or making incredible plays are not just basketball fanatics. Everyone is affected. Your cousin, who has never in her life watched a game? All of a sudden, she is discussing Clark's most recent highlight. That is social media's power. However, it goes beyond the figures. The discussion surrounding women's basketball is shifting as a result of this increased visibility. Additional spectators at the game translate into additional chances for advertisers, fans, and players alike. The emergence of Clark is beneficial not only for Clark, but also for the sport as a whole. Let's also discuss inspiration. What number of young girls are grabbing a basketball after witnessing Clark's impressive three-pointer on their Instagram feed? How many aspiring WNBA players are there now that are inspired by what social media has to offer and are living great dreams? Indeed, there are others who contend that the excessive focus on social media detracts from the authenticity of the game. The game hasn't altered, though, and that's the important part. The abilities, commitment, and diligence remain unaltered. We can witness everything firsthand, thanks to social media. Thus, Sharpe and Johnson are not defending a single player when they cover Clark. They are advocating for an entirely new method of bringing athletes and fans together. Hey, this is the future, they proclaim. And it's just fantastic. Do you believe the WNBA has existed forever? Rethink your thoughts. And it is the whole reason this Clark drama is exploding. The secret to comprehending this entire Swoopes versus Clark matchup is to delve into a lesser-known period of basketball history. This may surprise you. The Women's National Basketball Association began play in 1996. Yes, it isn't even 30 years old. In contrast, consider that the NBA has been dunking since 1946. This disparity in age? It's more than just a quirky fact. It is the main cause of the tension that exists in our world today. Let's dissect it. Women's basketball operated in the background for many years. Outside of the court, it was a difficult game with few opportunities and little acknowledgement. The athletes who cleared the path, they had to struggle to get any attention at all. Not on Instagram, not on TikTok. All sheer passion and intensity for the game. Let's go back to the present day. Players such as Caitlin Clark are dominating social media and garnering media attention on a regular basis. It's a completely different game. And a few of the myths? They experience some exclusion. This is where Sharpe and Johnson are useful, though. They don't think that up-and-coming talent is usurping the limelight from established performers. Rather, they are emphasizing a very important point. Every player, past and present, is a part of the greater scheme of things. Sharpe is really making a dent with this point. He claims that it is not the purpose to set one generation against the other. It's about realizing that every player has advanced the game in their own unique time. The foundation was set by the legends. On it, the rising stars are constructing. It's a group effort that happens gradually. In support of him, Johnson reminds everyone that the game changes. The abilities that propelled someone to fame in the 1990s, they may appear differently now. However, that does not lessen their significance. Comparing apples and oranges is similar in that they are both tasty fruits with distinct tastes. The fact that the WNBA is still relatively new means that we are witnessing the sport's evolution firsthand. Every rising star, every record shattered, every viral moment, all of these are markers of the sport's development, and that's something to be happy about rather than argue over. Let's be honest though, watching the next generation flourish with chances they never had is difficult for the pioneers. It's a different world with social media, bigger contracts, and more TV time. And when you see it, it's normal to experience a slight what-if feeling. Sharpe and Johnson are urging a shift in viewpoint. Why not consider Clark's ascent as a continuation of previous legacies rather than as a threat to them? The current state of women's basketball is a result of the efforts of every player who has ever set foot on the floor. Everything from Clark's most recent highlight reel to the inaugural WNBA game is a part of the same narrative. Now, what should we learn from this? It has nothing to do with Sheryl Swoopes versus Caitlin Clark. Realizing that every player, past and present, is a part of something greater is key. Each one of them is a single thread in the fabric of women's basketball. What about that tapestry? Each season brings with it greater color and complexity.